Starting now on Current OC.
Tonight, the Current OC returns after a 2-month hiatus, but we're back better than ever to report on OCHS's January and February events.
Stay tuned for the Current OC.
From the OC TV studios along 6th and Atlantic, this is Current OC.
Hello and welcome to this March edition of the Current OC. We want to apologize for not airing during both January and February of this year. We have been busy upgrading our television studio with new equipment.
That's correct, Rain. We're now in high definition and our broadcast has never been so sharp or clear. Good evening, everybody. I'm Jake Gibson. Back in January, we were invited to Seattle City to report upon the end of a local era, the end of NBC 40 Atlantic City. OCTV was there to celebrate the accomplishments of decades of broadcasts dedicated to our local region.
On January 12, 2015, Seattle City Mayor Leonard Desiderio, the members of City Council, and other local government representatives gathered in Seattle City to recognize the TV40 news team. Several former on-air and behind-the-scenes news team members were invited to this event.
I think there's a tremendous void because South Jersey has had the benefit of having a TV station like NBC40 for decades.
Also knowing that there are a lot of things going on in the area that you feel responsible that you want to get that information out there, and we don't have that vehicle anymore. So we're still on social media and we're still kind of doing our thing, but it's a little different, getting used to that.
I'm doing some radio work. The joke is I have a face for radio, right? But I'm doing radio work for 103.7 WMGM Rocks, Cool 98.3, and News Talk 1400 WOND AM.
Still trying to figure some things out. I have a few projects in the works and going to see what the next step will be.
Well, I'm staying in the area. I moved from Ocean City and we just bought a house in Egg Harbor Township, and I'll still be doing weather for the Press of Atlantic City. I'll be doing weather for the radio stations of Longport Media, and I'll be all over people's Facebook feeds and Twitter feeds, through social networking, doing weather as well. So I won't have the TV presence anymore, but I'll be doing a lot of video as well. They're building me a studio, a little broadcast TV studio in the press building, and I'll be actually recording weather and posting it online from there.
These are my friends and they really have become my family, so not seeing them on a regular basis has been a little tough.
I am going to miss NBC40.
The closing of NBC40 is the end of an era that New Jersey residents will truly miss and that local officials wish to acknowledge.
For decades, TV40 have been our friends, our neighbors, and have come into our homes each morning and each evening to give us the news and to tell us what's going on in our neighborhoods.
Channel 40 was always there. I'm really shocked to think that we do not have that coverage here in South Jersey.
There is life after TV40 if you want to make that life.
My friends at TV40, as you've heard today and you've witnessed today, you are loved.
From our show to yours, goodbye TV40. You've had a great run. This has been Hannah Lucy and Brooke Blumenstock reporting for the Current OC.
NBC 40 will surely be missed, and we hope to live up to their high standard of broadcast television.
Moving on to more somber news, last month OCHS hosted an eye-opening assembly about the perils of drug and substance abuse. Our own Rain Myers was there to report on the program entitled Pills to Heroin.
They said one hit wouldn't hurt. They said one hit wouldn't hurt. They lied.
One of the things that I say to the kids when I speak to them is, we as this generation have been part of leaving, in some ways, a very dangerous world for kids when it comes to drugs.
Nobody just starts off just using heroin. All right, there's a gradual chain of events that happen.
OCHS students and parents got a glimpse at the negative realities, dangers, and problems that not only our country, but also our community faces. Students paid close attention to the presentation and were very receptive to the message of gateway drugs, pills to heroin.
Sean! Come on, Sean, you gotta wake up. You're not gonna be late again. Sean! Sean? Oh, no.
They said prescription painkillers were totally safe. They lied.
Eventually, like I said, your body becomes immune to it, and those pills are only designed to be a certain strength. Basically, this is what the bags look like. If you see that someone in that area or wherever you're finding them, there's a problem going on.
And this is what they try to avoid. At a certain point, heroin addicts are just trying to avoid this right here.
Here at the Current OC, we got a chance to interview Lieutenant Joseph Landis of the Cape May Prosecutor's Office.
To help stop this problem, you guys can be role models for, like I said, younger kids, to put the word out from what you hear and what we teach you on these dangers and the signs of addiction. You guys can be role models for, like I said, younger kids, to put the word out from what you hear and what we teach you on these dangers and the signs of addiction.
This has been Rain Myers reporting for the Current OC. Another startling report comes from Billy Kosterko, this time concerning children and television viewing, primarily how cartoon violence may be more prevalent than one had ever imagined.
We all know the Disney classics we've grown to love when we were younger. The target audience is mainly children and most are rated G. But an article on Yahoo.com describes how kids' movies are no walk in the park. Most of us have seen Disney's Finding Nemo. Many people see it as a family-friendly movie. But as many Disney movies begin with a tragic death of a parent, poor little Nemo was only an egg when his mother and hundreds of siblings were slaughtered by a barracuda, leaving him with only his father and a crippled fin to survive in the cold, dark ocean. It's always been a childhood dream to go to Neverland with Peter Pan. But is it always sunny and perfect in Neverland? Peter often visits houses containing children at night and gives them pixie dust to fly away with him to Neverland, where a kid cannot grow up. How does the mother react to the 3 children being gone in the morning? Peter Pan can be identified as a child abductor. We've all seen the iconic film The Lion King, Simba growing up in the wild safari in Africa to take down his evil uncle Scar. But being rated a G movie, it starts out similar to Finding Nemo. Mufasa falls to his death in front of Simba, leaving Simba alone to fight off his way in the safari. Another example of violence is in Disney's classic Bambi. Bambi's mother is shot, leaving it in the brutal forest to survive from hunters. In another popular Disney picture, The Incredibles, Mr. Incredible threw a car at the antagonist Syndrome to eventually get him sucked into a jet engine, showing that killing the bad guy is okay. So are these G-rated movies being properly rated? Are these pictures appropriate for children? Disney movies have violence and messages not understood by children, just like any other action film. This has been Billy Kosterko reporting for the Current OC.
Last month, we celebrated Black History Month. Our own Mrs. Santoro's public speaking class, along with Mr. Cox and his jazz band, gathered for speeches and music that recognized the accomplishments and contributions from African Americans.
On February 26, 2015, Mrs. Santoro's public speaking class held its annual publication of the student-written speeches discussing Black History Month. The event also featured Mr. Cox's Rock and Jazz Ensemble. Students had prepared their own written essays vocalizing the significance of African Americans in America's history. The inspiring compositions put Black athletes, musicians, and more into the spotlight of this year's Black History Month.
Black History Month is a month set aside to learn, honor, and celebrate the achievements of Black men and women throughout history.
For authors of American literature has been greatly varied. Historical classics were not all defined by white male Americans. In fact, in the past 200 years, many Black writers have contributed to the most artistic figures of literature.
Soul food is a variety of cuisine popular in African American culture. It is closely related to the cuisine of the southern United States. Soul food became more popular in the 1960s. Foods such as rice, cabbage, and corn were considered to be soul food.
I'm here to tell you about the evolution of dance through dance. March 13, 1500 was dedicated to African American dance. This was when it was all introduced to North and South America, as well as the Caribbean islands. Dance has always been an important part of African American culture.
Another great African American athlete that was able to overcome physical and racial obstacles was Jesse Owens. During the 1936 Olympics in Berlin, Owens defied all odds and won 4 gold medals despite being labeled inferior to Hitler's Aryan race.
This has been Billy Costurco reporting for the Current OC.
OCHS's Physical Education Department organized a Hoops for Heart activity. The goal was to raise money for the American Heart Association. Participants had fun as they hooped it up for healthy hearts.
Jump Rope for Heart and Hoops for Heart are national education and fundraising events sponsored by the American Heart Association. These events engage high school students while jumping rope or playing basketball, while empowering them to improve their health and help other kids with heart health issues. Both programs are great ways to satisfy the physical education standards of the National Association for Sport and Physical Education and the American Heart Association for Health Education. OCHS was glad to jump in and cover the Hoops for Heart. This has been Lucia Castellano reporting for the Current OC.
Well, it was that time of year again when fans turned out to support our Red Raiders. Football and basketball season may be over, but the impact of Raider Nation lives on. Our own Lucia Castellano reports.
Exciting, energetic, supportive, and wild. These are just a few words that describe Raider Nation. Raider Nation is a student-run fan section at sporting events like football and basketball. A key factor in distinguishing these Raider fans is the matching t-shirt sporting OC's logo. The Current OC decided it was time to take a closer look at this awesome fan base. Not only does Raider Nation get the fans going, but it helps pep up the players.
It really pumps me up to know my peers are out there cheering us on.
What about you, Noah?
It really gets us going in the middle of a run, keep it up with that crowd behind us.
That's right, baby. Overall, Raider Nation is a part of the school. It's the energy behind any sporting event that doesn't only unite the fans, but the players. And that's an ultimate win.
I'm about to take you to the hole. Ready? Yo, what's up, dog? Yo, I'm about to take you to the car. What you about to do? You can't stop this. You ain't ready for this. You ain't ready. 1, 2, 3, yo, if you on the court alone, right? You still trying to give it all you got? Yo, it's 10 o'clock in the park, getting dark, but you still gotta hit this last shot. Yo, I got this hoop dream written all on my mind. I'm about to push rocks, orange with the black lines. Y'all know the deal. I got dreams of dunks, buzzer beaters behind the back dimes. Yo, it's so real. I'm lacing up my kicks, money looking so clean. And when I get up, yo, I'm living in my hoop dream. Yo, victim number one steps up to get done. Off his face, through his legs, bring it back just for fun. Shake clock in my mind is running down to 2. Crossover time's up, yo. Sorry I left you. Sorry I left you. Double team steps up, I fake left and step through. 1 foot inside the free throw line, and so I elevate and lift off cause the world is mine. The other 3 is sweating me as I go from.
Well, we're back with regular broadcasts, so we will see you again for another March episode at the end of the month.
We'll be taking a lighthearted look at St. Patrick's Day and all that makes March so, well, mediocre. We will see you soon, and as always, thanks for taking the time to watch us.